we have been going through a terrible economic period, and it used to be that one of the few benefits of having a big recession is that oil prices and gasoline prices would go down. And we did have, in 2008, a sort of pit of oil prices where they came off historic highs and plunged down to an area they hadn't been for a few years. But after that, they came back up and settled around $100 a barrel. And last year, if you look at the whole year, we spent almost the whole year between 85 and 105. It was, or 115, sorry. It's actually fairly stable compared to what has been in the past. But my point is that's a really high level for a period when you have such high unemployment and a lot of people not driving to work. And the reason it's been that high is largely because growth is continuing in China and India and other places in the country. So that's the floor that we're starting this year at. We're at a really high oil price, a really high gas price. What if Israel does attack Iran? The price is going to go bonkers if that happens.
What if they close off the Strait of Hormuz?
What if they close off the Strait of Hormuz? Same thing. If our economy continues to gain traction, the price is going to go up from that too. If Europe manages to avoid a double-dip recession, price will go up. So I see lots of reasons why the price will go up by the end of the year, and I don't see many why it would go down. So.
One thing about gas prices is that no one wants the price of gas at the pump to go up during an election year, but there is sort of a psychological tipping point where it's actually very good for the electric vehicle industry, and there's this whole perception that once gas is above $5 a gallon, the consumer adoption rate of electric vehicles will just be incredibly high curve, because you start to pencil out, how much money am I spending on gas, and electric becomes a much sort of greater value proposition. Yeah.
And the fuel costs for an electric car are more stable. Electricity is regulated. It doesn't sort of spike the way gasoline does. But you said $5 a gallon. Last time it was $4 a gallon. Americans were screaming and the politicians were running. So you really see $5 a gallon?
I think she's talking about $5 a gallon here in California. We have the highest retail rates in the
Sure.
country. Just
Have we
almost.
hit 5 though before?
Nope.
No, we
No,
haven't
no.
hit 5.
Okay, but are you saying we're going to hit 5?
I think we could.
We could.
I mean,
so.
I think we could hit 5 by this summer.
Really?
If we had a booming global economy, and David is completely correct about this. So we have, not just China, but other Asian countries that are developing. They have these growing middle classes. All those people want to buy cars and drive them. They need more fuel. And this is putting more pressure on global fuel suppliers. And meanwhile, we have all this, political change going on in the Middle East, and that always affects fuel prices, oil prices. So, I don't think it's completely crazy that we could see $5
Really?
Gasoline, in the next year or so, if we had a lot of economic recovery here in the United States and around the world, and maybe something else happened. Maybe we had a hurricane. This has happened before, where prices went sky high and people didn't anticipate it.
You can rely on a few trends that pan out in energy a lot, and one of the most reliable is that gasoline prices go up in the spring for a couple of reasons, but that happens almost every single year. This is the start of February. I think our average in California is 376 right now. Our record in the past is 461. That's not that far away if you think about how high prices can swing during the summertime.